followers of Jesus, our faith should inform every aspect of our lives, including the way we exercise our citizenship, our decisions on issues, and how we communicate with our elected leaders. Bread for the World's offering of Letters 2014 is a matter of stewardship. As we are called to be good stewards of all that God has given us and to share our resources with others, we ask our government to be good stewards of our tax dollars and use them to promote justice in the world. This year, Bread for the World is inviting us to do just that by writing to our senators to ask them to co-sponsor a bipartisan bill to reform U.S. food aid that is sent to other countries where people, having been uprooted from their homes and livelihoods by war, natural disaster, or epidemics, desperately need food to survive. The U.S. is the global leader in providing international food aid. In 2012, we provided $2 billion worth of aid. While this sounds like a lot of money, mathematically, $2 billion is less than half of 1% of the total U.S. federal budget, which is close to $4 trillion. This is about the same ratio as comparing a nickel to $10. Our largest food aid program, Food for Peace, was enacted in 1954. This program helps meet the immediate needs in situations that force people into refugee camps and other settings. When urgent aid is no longer needed, food aid can then also help people rebuild their lives and restore economic vitality in regions where development aid can make a difference. Through Food for Peace, the U.S. has helped 3 billion people in 150 countries. So, why is our May food aid program in need of reform? Under current U.S. law, most of the food sent by Food for Peace must be grown in the United States, and at least 50% of it must be shipped overseas on U.S. vessels. That tends to increase the cost. The estimates are that shipping costs currently eat up 60 cents of every dollar spent on food aid, leaving 40 cents to actually purchase the food from American farmers. Under the current system, it often takes 4 to 6 months for the food to get to where it is needed, delaying access to life-giving nourishment for starving people. The proposed reforms in the bill aim to improve food aid so that it is more efficient and can help more people, all without a major impact on U.S. farmers and shippers and without increasing expenditures. Therefore, Bread for the World supports this bill and asks us to encourage our senators to support it also. One provision of the bill calls for some flexibility in purchasing food by allowing food to be purchased in the same country or a neighboring country, rather than requiring that it be purchased in the United States. For example, for a drought in parts of Ethiopia, food could be purchased in Ethiopia or in a neighboring country. Food will then get to people much more quickly, and it would also be less costly to ship it. And in addition, such purchases would support the local farmers and boost the regional economy. In this way, food aid can serve as both a humanitarian and a development purposes. In the past, U.S. food aid sometimes has driven down food prices for farmers in the general region of the disaster because it's kind of flooded the market, and so that has weakened the regional economy. It's an unintended consequence, but that's what has happened. These proposed changes to Food for Peace will not have a major impact on U.S. farmers and shippers who benefit from the current system. Food aid is a small part of the overall U.S. farm income, and few American vessels are involved. The bill proposes simply to shift more emphasis to local purchases, while some will continue to be purchased in the U.S. Bread supports another proposed change in the bill, which is to improve the nutritional quality of food aid. While providing people with sufficient calories is important, making sure it also contains essential nutrients is especially important for vulnerable groups like young children. Getting top-notch nutrition to children from conception to age 2 is crucial for that child's growth and cognitive development. If malnutrition occurs during this time, a child can never make up for what could have been achieved with good nutrition during this critical period. Getting food as quickly as possible to children and pregnant women in need of it will help prevent this kind of malnutrition that can permanently damage a child's development. Each year, Congress approves funding for Food for Peace and other food aid programs. As our leaders work to reduce deficits, making sure our nation continues to meet the needs of hungry people should be a very high priority for us as people of faith. Our letters will underscore that the proposed changes will also result in some savings, while at the same time enabling aid to reach 9 million more people. If you would like to raise your voice on behalf of the hungry in our world, you can pick up a packet on the table in the narthex, or on the table downstairs in Pearson Hall. Each packet contains a background sheet with the information that I've just covered, and 2 letters to sign, one to Senator Schumer and one to Senator Gillibrand. You may sign these letters and use them as the basis for your own letter that you will write at home. You are asked to hand address each envelope and remember to include your return address. Letters received by Congress that do not have return addresses are simply not opened. If you do this before you leave today and put your letters in the basket on the table in the narthex or the table down in Pearson Hall, we'll provide postage. In these partisan times on Capitol Hill, we may wonder if members of Congress really listen to us. But if we keep silent, they definitely will not hear us. So please answer God's call to feed the hungry, to provide a place at the table.